Welcome to the Interrogation True Crime Stories podcast. All the stories told on this show are either fabricated, alleged, or didn't happen at all and shouldn't be used in the court of law. We hope. All right, everybody. This is pretty exciting news. We've been doing this podcast for a little while. I love that you guys love the show, so please keep listening, like, review, subscribe. Do the whole thing. All your support goes a long way. And things have been going well enough that, hey, we have our first official sponsor / partner for the show, and that is Pioneer Clothing. That's Pioneer with a Y. Now, it's a clothing company with a mission to provide high-quality, comfortable, and stylish clothing for casual, everyday wear. And it's based out of the Adirondacks, which is where I'm from originally, in upstate New York, so it's near and dear to my heart. But Pioneer shirts are made with 100% ring-spun cotton, have relaxed fit, and a soft, lived-in feel from the first time you wear them, which is very true. Like, the first time I ever put one of these shirts on, it's like, it's not too light, it's not too heavy, it just feels really comfortable. Pioneer strapback hats are a nod to urban streetwear culture with designs inspired by nature. So they've got dope shirts, they've got dope hats. Pioneer clothing and hats are great for a walk in at the park, hanging by the campfire, or a night out on the town. A perfect summer fit. So right now you can visit their website for pioneerclothing.com. The stuff's out there now. To find out more information and use discount code CRIME25 for 25% off your first purchase. That's a pretty good deal. Some of these places, they're only offering you like 10%, but for our listeners and viewers, it's going to be 25. So that's CRIME25 for your first purchase at pioneerclothing.com. That's Pioneer with a Y, and get the discount code, get you some fresh gear for the summer, and support a cool company. Welcome to the Interrogation True Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, Corey David. Today we have a special guest all the way down in Colorado Springs. Give it up for Thad B, everybody.
Thank you, please.
Yeah, man. So what's life been like down in the Springs recently? Because like we're in your place, we're at your house right now where you record the Beanie-Boys podcast.
It's my humble abode, man.
Yeah.
Welcome to the crib. Springs is nice, man. Springs is nice. It's really boring.
I like it's the kind of town that I wouldn't come here if I didn't have friends here.
Yeah,
it's fun because I can come and chill with like you and Callan and like hang out with the guys and like it's great.
It's weird though too because like it's also at the same time like a tourist town because like you have like Garden of the Gods and like the mountains are right there and stuff. But then it's also like this weird cross of like military, and so it's like just people that don't know what the fuck they're doing, and then military people just getting pissed at those people.
Well, what I've found interesting is that, you do get a little flavor of the Midwest down here.
Yeah,
it's because it's conservative, it's military, whatever. But anytime I've performed down here, particularly at Looney's, I think you go into it thinking they're going to be kind of like Jesus freaks and like ultra like restrained about laughing about certain things, but they're not. Like they're usually like pretty on board for whatever you want to talk about.
I would say if anything down here, they're kind of like they want the dirty raunchy stuff. They're like ready for that.
Yeah, because they just don't get it in their own lives.
Which I will say, like doing like I started down here and then I didn't get up to Denver for the longest time, and like the difference was so big because like I was just doing like very conservative rooms, and then I got up to Denver and I was like, oh, some shit doesn't fly up here.
Oh no, yeah. They actually, but Denver to me, it's not as progressive as a place like Portland, Oregon, or something. Or even if you go to Boulder, like sometimes Boulder crowds, you literally have to call them out for being fucking assholes. And like you guys, you can laugh, just because you're all tech billionaires doesn't mean that like you're not allowed to laugh at anything.
Dude. Boulder is more like fucking liberal for sure.
Yeah,
like very, very far left.
For better or worse, I think with conservative crowds, like they're down for everything. I mean, if you're going to like more of a religious community, that's obviously different. But I think your just average conservative is down to clown more than an ultra liberal crowd.
Right, and I feel like especially in the Springs. Like if you dog on like the military, in which like I've experienced this too. I dog on the military in the Springs. And they love it because they've like been through it all. But then you do it in Denver, and nobody in Denver really is like ex-military
Right.
to that point. But they're like, "Oh, you shouldn't do that." I'm like, "Hey, man, I got the okay."
But like, if you dog the military, that's one thing. But if you say fuck cops, they're like, yeah.
They're like, "Yeah, well, after the military, you become cops and fuck those people."
Right. Yeah. They just don't know how to feel. Like, I hate crowds that it's almost like they're holding themselves back because they're afraid of what you might say, as opposed to just like, again, like there's certain comics for sure that are trying to say something to be offensive.
Right.
But if like, I'm just trying to come at this, like make a joke out of it. Like I'm going to say something witty about this thing.
I'm a big, like if I'm going to pick on one person, I'm going to pick on the other person too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not just going to pick on you. I'm going to pick on everybody. You know? So I'll pick on the military, and then I'll pick on people that are not in the military. I'm like, you couldn't do that shit.
Yeah. I was going to say, you weak bitch.
Yeah.
Like, who are you?
You fucking even try and hold a gun, dude. Those things are heavy, dog.
Dude, my mom was in the military for 20 years, and like, you know, we grew up in it, so I never really thought much about it. But then like looking back, and I've said this to her face, I'm like, you were defending our country. Like, Mom, you make a mean casserole, but I can't actually see you taking a fucking gun to anybody.
The craziest part is like when you think back to like high school, like the people that didn't make it to college and shit, they would go into the military, and you're like, that's who's serving our country.
Yeah.
Right
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, it's the guys that like, you know, they weren't great at books, but they're great at like having no emotion when it comes to strangling a person.
They're great at having opinions. I'll say that, dude. But yeah, it's Springs is crazy. I love the Springs. It's dope. I've been here my whole life pretty much. I was born in Virginia, but then I moved here when I was 4. So
Yeah. So how long have you been doing comedy?
I've been at comedy consistently 2.5 years. My first time was like 4 years ago, though.
Yeah, because I think we've only really known each other for like the past year at the most.
Probably just around a year.
Yeah.
Is when I like started showing face a little bit more. That's like when I first started getting up to Denver and actually meeting people.
Yeah,
too.
that's hard. I mean, you just don't know who's around. Like, because there's scenes here and then there's scenes in Fort Collins, and unless you're going to either of those places or those comics are coming to Denver, I feel like people just kind of fly under the radar.
I feel like as a comic, you want to get to Denver too because it's bigger. You have more shows, more mics. Like
there's just more shit going on.
Yeah,
you know,
a lot
like,
more people to know too.
Yeah.
So I didn't really realize that until about a year ago, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna drive up. I'll find something to do.
But it is really nice to have 2 clubs down here kind of in your pocket,
100%.
right? That's huge. Like to not just have indie shows going on, but 2 legitimate clubs.
And I will say, I started pre-COVID, technically, is when I like first started like writing and like I got on stage for the first time. And then I didn't really do much during the pandemic. But then post-COVID, from what I've heard from everybody else too, like a whole new scene here just kind of like arose from
that kind of
ground.
happened everywhere. I think like I remember when like pre-COVID we had like a lot of really established like Denver comics were all going to like every mic every night, and we knew that like we knew everybody there. There was always new faces for sure, but you could at least count on like, this is actually a pretty goddamn good mic based on the people that are here.
Right.
And then COVID happened, and then a new mic scene emerged. And I think a lot of the people that were from that, like I even say old guard, but like my class, if you will, just kind of stopped. And I'm one of them. You know, I just like kind of started using my time differently. Yeah. And then I'll go out to a mic now and I'm like, I don't know any of these motherfuckers.
Was part of that though, like you were so involved in comedy and then the pandemic happened and you were like, oh, I don't do anything else. Like I need to start doing other stuff.
Well, I have always been really good about maintaining some kind of a balance with mountain biking, snowboarding, doing some like extracurricular activities. I think what shifted for me was I want to spend more quality time with my non-comedy friends, make and value those relationships in my life. And then, you know, comedy's just changed a lot, you know, between doing this podcast, having to put out content regularly, making clips. It's like
online now. Yep.
You know, I'm grateful that you know, most weekends that I'm working, I'm usually doing at least 15, right? So if I want to work out a new idea, I'll just do it on shows. Right. If I really have an idea that I'm trying to hammer down, then yeah, I'll maybe go to a mic or two. But otherwise, it's like, instead of going out on a Tuesday, you know, I'll go sign up at New Talent, and then if I get on, great. If I don't, I immediately leave, and instead of going to a mic or 2 mics, I'm going to go home and edit video. Right. Because that's something that we've seen.
It's also productive, too.
Yeah. And it's not as fun because you're just like, you're not mingling, you're not socializing, you're not out there doing the thing, but it's become such a crucial part of what we do.
Technically comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a different way. So
you have to do the clips and everything now too.
Yeah, I think I just value my time differently than what I did before. Because like when I first moved here, I've only been here for like 4 years. It was all I had, So like I didn't mind that after work, 5 o'clock rolls around, have a quick bite to eat, and then I'm micing for the rest of the night. Like that was the thing, and it was fun because we were all doing it together.
Right.
And then once a lot of those people kind of stopped going out as much, now when I go out, I see like 4 or 5 people that I'm actually like close with, and that's it. It used to be 20 or 30. Then I was just
a bunch of new faces. Yeah. I totally get that. Part of it for me too, or like what I think about is like, I don't want to, I want my end goal to be comedy every single night. But right now, I feel like I'm still young enough to the point where I actually have to get actual like life experience, and like it can't be comedy every night because I can't just write about, oh, I was doing comedy the other night. Oh, I was doing comedy here the other night. Like I want to hang out with my friends and do different shit with my.
And it doesn't feel good. Like if it's just comedy all the time. I had this. I had a moment a few months ago where I felt like I was like miking, going to shows, whatever. Even if I wasn't on the show, just going to comedy shows, and. I just kind of felt soulless for a little bit. Like I was just like, I'm not really happy and I'm not sad either. I just feel like kind of melancholy.
I'm just
and I'm
here,
like,
dude.
I'm just talking comedy all the time, right? And then you hang out with non-comedy people, and I'm like, oh, you guys are all happy and fulfilled, and like
you have like a whole life.
Yeah, you don't care about any of this bullshit that I.
Shit.
Yeah, they're all like impressed. They're like, oh my god, you're like you do so many shows, or you're like you're working all the time, and I'm just like, yeah, you're right, that's cool.
But that's all I'm doing.
But when you're in the thick of it, you're just constantly like comparing yourself to others and comparing yourself to your own like previous material or like where you're at, and you're just never out of it.
Yeah,
you don't really know how to be happy.
I totally get that too, dude.
So what's talk to people about Beanie Boys? Like, what do you guys got going on? Like, what's your vibe? Like, you and Cam run that together?
It is the shittiest podcast in Colorado Springs right now.
Confirmed.
And no, it's dope. It started off about a year and a half ago. Me and Cameron like met each other officially, and we were both wearing beanies, and we just hit it off, and we were smoking a blunt, and we were like, dude, we should do a fucking podcast. Average like white dude shit.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Like, we should do a podcast together, man. And then sure as shit, Joe Bruno, our producer, was like, I'm trying to produce some shit. Like I got a camera and these mics, and like I'm dabbling with audio. So we gave it a shot, and then been doing it weekly ever since, man. And we don't really talk about anything, but we talk about everything.
Yeah, it's just you guys know how to be funny together.
Yeah, it's literally just like a living room hangout for 25 minutes, and then we turn the camera off and then do it again.
Yeah, it's just your normal life. Yeah, essentially,
literally.
Right?
And then I mean, it's been fun like getting different like comics on it and stuff too, and like hearing different stories and perspectives from them too. But I would say our best episodes are probably just me and Cameron together, just shooting the shit, just talking about our week that we had.
Yeah, and everybody has particular friends that you just bounce off of each other like really well, right? And it's just entertaining.
I think as soon as me and Cameron met each other too, we like immediately were like, we're like so different, but also the same person at the same time that like we can do this together. And
that's some of the best friends that I have. Like on paper, we don't really make sense as friends.
Yeah.
But there's just something about like your personality and my personality that
just
actually
mesh.
Yeah, we not only get along really well, but we know how to joke with each other.
Exactly.
It's like writing with other people. Sometimes when you get together and like, hey, let's just throw some jokes around. Some people, I just know like we don't write well together.
Right.
You don't get my voice, and I don't get yours either. In terms of like, I can still think you're funny.
Yeah.
But I don't say things the way you say things, and my brain doesn't go in the direction.
I don't
that yours
know how
does.
you came up with that.
Yeah.
Type
and
thing,
so vice versa. Like they'll throw me stuff, and I'm like, this is not really like what I would.
Right.
Because I'm always looking for new things, and I'm open to hearing what somebody might say. Like throw me a tag, throw me a joke. Like it's up to me whether or not I want to do something with it or not.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like I just know that like sometimes you throw out an idea and then just like sitting there. Yeah. Like, all right, nothing's spinning. Let's move on to the next one.
It's the authenticity factor too, because like for like I used to go to like writing groups too, and they would be like, "Yeah, you should get like political with it," and I'm like, "I've never said anything political."
Yeah, I'm a dummy. I don't know anything
like,
about politics.
If I started talking about Joe Biden, I wouldn't know what to say.
Yeah,
I would be like, "Seems like a good guy. He seems old. I don't know." Like that's all I know.
Yeah, what am I gonna say that nobody else hasn't? Like that everybody else already hasn't said, right?
And then like they just like steer you in that direction. You're like, that's just not. I don't go that way.
Yeah.
I'm more like. Fucking silly, stupid. This is who I am.
Yeah, I just
shit.
present myself as an idiot
Yeah.
most of the time, and I'm like, "Did you guys know this?"
Dude, I did the naughty show last night, and I have this bit where I like ask this white dude what his name is, and it's usually one of like the 12 disciples.
Sure.
Like one of them, Peter, Paul, whatever. And he said he was trying to give me a hint. He said it's monosyllabic.
What?
Yeah,
that's.
But I thought that he was saying that's what his name was, and I legit didn't know what it meant.
Like, I don't even know how to go with this.
That's the craziest white person name I've ever heard. Monosyllabic.
Like, is that Italian?
Like the audience knew that like I didn't know what it was, but even I didn't know that I didn't know what it was. Like I actually thought that was that dude's name.
Yeah, I'm like, you're just making me look like an idiot right now, and I'm like, I already do enough of that on my own. I don't need your help.
And then I did like a callback, and I called him Mono, and they laughed again, and I was like, that's his fucking name, though.
Yeah.
Like, what are you laughing at?
That's just who you are now. Yeah.
I'm Thad, that's Mono.
You don't get to choose how you get a nickname.
Yeah.
If you pick your own nickname.
Found out it's just one syllable. That's all it means.
That's it? Why didn't you just say it's one syllable?
That's what I'm saying. You're trying to sound
bullshit.
Smart to me, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fucking get that shit.
We get it. You went to college. Go fuck yourself.
Literally.
Yeah,
Fucking you and your... he had like a bald head, too, so I was like, oh, dude, you're breaking social norms, dog. Like, that's not even a white dude name. Hell yeah.
Yeah, at least try to do something likable. You're bald and you're just throwing out words people don't know.
Fucking, I hate you even more now.
Fuck you, bro.
Yeah, man.
All right, let's get into some dumb crimes that I found on the internet this week. I'm going to read the headline for you. Give me your first genuine reaction, okay?
Okay.
So, 2 people busted after drugs fall from fake pregnancy belly during a routine traffic stop in South Carolina.
South Carolina, baby. My first initial thought there is they didn't specify women.
No, right? This could have just been 2 dudes. Could have been you and Cam in this car.
You're like, no, we're pregnant. Let us go.
Yeah, my husband's on the way to the hospital. He's in labor right now.
Yeah, literally. It is funny that they didn't specify that. But also that is, I want to give them props because, like, I wouldn't check. If I was a cop, which obviously I couldn't be a cop, like, I wouldn't be like, fucking, are you pregnant?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of curious, like, how it, I mean, we can read up on the article a little bit and figure out how it happened. But, like, okay, so they got pulled over and they were hiding cocaine in a fake rubber pregnancy belly. And this was also on Mother's Day. So shouts to all the mothers out there. Listen, just because somebody had a cocaine baby doesn't mean that they're wrong. You know, if people get to decide the gender of their baby, I get to decide what drug my baby is. You know, I'm going to raise this cocaine to be my own.
I also, part of me is like, how did they come up with that idea too?
Yeah, well, I mean, I get it. I mean, it's just like, okay, so who is going to check that, right? Like,
exactly.
Who's going to check the belly? But also,
that means they thought of butthole. they thought of butthole, and then they were like, no, let's just go to Amazon and like get some fake pregnant bellies, and we'll just shove it in there.
Well, it's because they probably tried the butt first.
And they didn't like it.
Like, dude, I can't. If we're gonna make this a business, I can't be doing this every week.
Or the bag broke, and they were like, can't do it again.
This isn't sustainable. Yeah, we lost a lot of products on the last one.
I had a great time.
Yeah, I'm still high.
That's why it fell out.
Yeah. The incident happened along Interstate 85. Deputies were conducting a proactive patrol when they pulled over a car with a man and a woman inside.
What's a proactive patrol?
It means being shit cops. It means that they're just pulling people over.
Everybody over.
They're just
That's
pulling
fucking
people
stupid.
without probable cause. So the first red flag began when the two gave conflicting information about her due date.
Oh, fuck.
You got to get that straight, at least,
fuck,
right?
Dude.
This guy doesn't even know like how long they've been in a relationship, and he's just like, I think I knocked her up like 6 months ago.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm due tomorrow.
Yeah, so they had conflicting stories while running. Oh, they ran away. That's what happened. They panicked.
Well, as soon as you see a pregnant woman running, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
she's hiding something.
Yeah,
or,
you're really jostling that
yeah,
fetus.
dude. That baby's not going to be okay. Like,
if nothing else, I need to step in because you're being bad parents. Like, I gotta give you a
that gave
talking
it
to.
away right there.
Yeah.
Did it just fall out though?
So while running, very quickly, drugs fell from the rubber stomach that the suspect was wearing. During the traffic stop, deputies found 1,500 grams of cocaine. That's a lot, baby.
Shit.
Yeah, that's like, I would say that's 9 months worth of cocaine. She was ready to pop anyway.
Yeah, she was due.
Yeah.
she was due.
Yeah, she just had an emergency C-section on the side of the highway.
She's like, my water broke. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Have you ever gotten busted for drugs? Have you ever gotten like caught with anything?
I have gotten close to, not by the cops though.
Yeah, by who?
By parents.
Yeah, okay. Weed or what?
It was weed. Junior year of high school, and my fucking sister posted something on social media, and then one of her friends ratted to my parents, and my parents were like, "Were you high last night?" And I was like, "On the love of Christ."
Oh no! I've been in so many situations like that too, man. Where I come home and my eyes are beet red. My mom's just like, "What's up with that?" And I'm just like, "I don't know, allergies."
Yeah, dude. They tried to like tell me too. They were like, we knew every time that you were high when you were coming home. And I'm like, you didn't know shit, dude.
But I bet you knew a percentage of the time.
Yeah, like you probably knew a couple times, but I was literally high every time.
Every time. Yeah,
okay,
every
you
day.
didn't know, dude. We went to grandma's funeral and I was high.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell.
I say that all the time where it's like I got busted doing everything, like everything you can think of, but only once.
Okay.
So like the percentage of times that I got caught was incredibly low compared to the number of times that
you were actually
doing the thing. Yeah. Like I had to get caught like in the act. Like I do, like one of my closers that I use is a story about when I got caught smoking weed in high school. But there were so many red flags like leading up to that, you know? Like I had like all these blacklight psychedelic posters in my room. One was just a straight up pot leaf. Yeah. My mom's like, "What's up with that?" I'm like, "I don't know, I like Canada."
Fucking, leaves, dude.
Yeah. Doesn't it just look cool? And she's like, "Yeah, I guess it looks pretty cool."
That's funny, dude.
But we literally got caught like smoking in the basement, which we'd done so many times before. But this one was just like, it was out of hand. We had like 12 people down there.
Oh shit.
We had like an ounce downstairs, like between everybody.
It was cloudy as shit down there, dude.
Yeah, and my dad, like, great dude, just like doesn't want to be bothered with it. You know, like he was just on the couch watching TV, and my mom comes downstairs. She's like, "What? Do you smell that?" And he's like, "Yeah, kind of."
Let them do their thing.
Yeah, I think it's more he just didn't want to deal with my mom more than like just let him smoke.
Just let him watch his show, dude.
Yeah, the only time he ever got mad was when she got mad. Like he was pretty chill. Like
I feel like that's very dad though. That's a very good dad reaction right there.
Very much. Like he's got to like, all right, I gotta like look good in front of the wife.
I'm getting laid tonight, kid. Get over here.
But also, he's just like, man, it's your fault that now I have to deal with this shit.
Yeah, because then he would get, I totally get that. Dude, same sort of story. I went through like a huge like wook phase where I was just like dropping acid. And
did you have long hair or anything?
I had dreads.
I had dreads too.
Dreads,
all right, yeah.
And that's what gave it away. My parents, I got dreads and they were like, Is that a drug rug, Thad?
Dude, they have to literally, they're just pulling nuggets out of your hair. Like, do you smoke? You're like, no, that was my friend's. I was just hiding it for him.
I came home from like a festival and I was like just on Molly and they just like stared at me for like 15 minutes and I was like, you fucking got me. Okay, I'll cut him off next week.
Yeah.
All right, it's a phase. I get it.
Yeah, just being a wild youth.
Yeah. And then I cut my dreads off, and I remember my dad was just so fucking happy. He was like, this is like you getting baptized. Like, you fucking made it, son.
Yeah, we can go out in public together again, and I'll just be like, my fucking son.
Well, because, I mean, you probably know white people hair dreads is not the best.
Oh, it was loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine were real loose. It was like having a pet on your head. You had to take care of it.
I looked homeless for like a solid 6 months. It was a phase.
Yeah, mine was, I'd been dating this girl for a little while, and I knew she wouldn't break up with me no matter what I did. So I was like, I've always wanted to get dreads.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
Dude, I had the longest hair for the longest time, and then I was just like, what's next for me? Like, I was literally like mid-trip, and I was like, I should get dreads.
I mean, there's only so many ways that guys can change up their look.
It's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, hair.
It was dreads or do this. You know what I mean?
And we've been riding this out ever since.
Hey, here I am, you guys. That was last week, by the way.
It's fresh man, yeah. I mean, he's looking better. I mean, the quality of women have skyrocketed. The quantity stayed the same. All right, next one. Hawaii police won't get to have sex with prostitutes anymore. Sad times at Ridgemont High.
Wait a second, they got to before?
Yeah, I think it was written into the law because I read up on this one a little bit ahead of time, was that, like, if you were undercover, you could go, like, it was part of the job. Like, if you needed to sell that you were undercover to, like, you know, be cool and get in, like, you could have sex with prostitutes.
There's so
legally.
many undercover cops in Hawaii now just for that.
Not anymore.
Also, what type of medieval shit is this, dude? That's like literally like you're a knight in shining armor and you get off the battlefield and you're like, yeah, I'm going to go to the brothel real quick. Like, that's the same vibes as that.
I mean, Hawaii also, it already seems like a pretty dope place to live.
Yeah, 100%.
Perks of the job, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to have myself a Hawaiian slider and then slide into this prostitute after work.
Maybe blue lives do matter. Maybe they got a point with that.
I think it was just, you know, you got to make the job appealing. You know, you got to deal with shitty tourists and the locals hate everybody and everything. Yeah. You know, you got to, like, just loosen up after work. But the thing is, like,
literally loosen up.
Cops. So police in the Aloha State signaled this week that they are willing to drop their objections to nixing a bizarre exemption to the state law that allows officers to have sex with prostitutes in the course of investigations. Be like, hey, you know, I'm just here for work.
Bro, you're getting paid to do that as a cop in Hawaii?
Mm-hmm.
We need to move to Hawaii, Corey.
We just need to change things on the ground floor here, Dad. Yeah. I mean, Callan was just running for mayor. That should have been at the top of the list.
Yeah. Next time he does that, when he runs for city council, we'll be like, hey, man.
Yeah. The law was put in place in the 1970s to protect police from prosecution after undercover prostitution stings, but concerns that police may be abusing the exemption, had advocates lobbying for change. Yeah, if you've got a loophole, they're going to use it.
Cops were just horny, so they made it a law.
That's the thing, is that they were already doing it. They're like, listen, you guys are doing this like a lot, so we're going to see if we can change some things.
They're abusing. That's fucking crazy.
I'm going to make the law work for you, huh? Yeah. It's like, you're doing good work out there. I want you to keep it up.
Also, I'm a dumbass. We already talked about that. I didn't know prostitution was technically legal. Is it?
I mean, it's legal in like Nevada.
In Hawaii.
It's legal in certain places.
Okay. So just like Vegas and Hawaii, the vacation spots.
Just for cops, though.
Yeah,
just
right.
for cops.
Of course. But not anymore.
But if you got like busted during a prostitution sting in Hawaii, you're like, no, boys, I'm undercover. I'm one of you.
I'm the bad guy, but also we are allowed to.
Yeah. I'm deep in a case from Colorado. I'm doing some intel out here.
Holy shit, dude.
I'm on a really loose lead.
No, I'm getting it. I'm cracking down. I think I'm going to go back tomorrow and ask some more questions.
I'm about to crack this case wide open.
That's why they're fucking taking it away, dude.
Shit, man. All right, that's going to do it for our dumb crimes of the week. So what did you have to share with us today? I always tell people it can be a crime you committed, witnessed, or just anything where the police were involved.
Well, I would like to say I never committed a crime in my life.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I don't know if that holds up in court from people listening to this, but I tell people it does.
Just in case I do end up in court in like 20 years, we're coming back to this podcast episode where they can see how innocent I am.
Correct. And it also looks, I mean, because of the bright lights, this does look like we're being interrogated. Right?
It really does. That actually pretty recently I got charged with DUI and it got expunged.
Is that the first one you've ever been charged with? Have you had to do a field sobriety test before that?
No. Actually, yes. Because my other story is high school. It was senior year. We just graduated, and like the whole entire senior class. It wasn't the biggest school in the world, but it was a lot of people. It was like 150 people.
Okay. Yeah.
We went up to Mount Herman. It's here in the Springs.
Oh yeah, that's a party.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and
time.
We had like a huge fucking bonfire, and it was just like we literally just graduated, or no, we just finished classes. Graduation practice was the next day, and so it was like our last like big hangout together.
Mm-hmm.
And we made the biggest fucking bonfire in the world, but
on the top of a mountain.
Yeah.
Like, nobody's going to see this.
Yeah. And we were like, no, we were fucking partying. We had drinks.
You went to higher ground.
Yeah.
The entire city
like,
is at a low level.
Fire goes up. We can't burn anything if we're at the top.
We're at the top of a mountain.
You know?
What are you going to burn the clouds?
Yeah, dude. Fucking smoke rises. Nobody can smell it. And then we brought like a bunch of booze and weed and stuff. And then we didn't invite this one kid.
What a piece of shit.
And he fucking snitched, dude. He
didn't
fucking
get invited
snitched.
to the party.
So then
well, I'm going to tell my mom.
My buddies like took some acid or something, and so they left early because they were tripping too hard. And they got to the bottom of the mountain, and he called me, and he was like, dude, there's like 20 cop cars down here.
Like the whole police force.
Yeah,
is
like
here.
literally. And they were like, they're about to come up. They just stopped us, and we tried to tell them nothing was happening, but apparently they could see the fire. Like, no way. And
Yeah,
so
we don't know
then
nothing about that.
we just like big hooty hoo, like fucking pack shit up, put the fire out best we could, but we like kind of kept it like trashed, unfortunately. Like,
oh yeah,
there was,
you
like,
were
booze
being
bottles
shithead
everywhere.
kids.
Yeah, we were fucking high schoolers.
Yeah, you didn't
And
leave no
then
trace. You're like, we're gonna bounce and also destroy
I
the
was,
environment.
Yeah, literally.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I was in the last car. I wasn't driving, but we were in the last car going down, and they set up a DUI checkpoint.
Mhm.
And everybody was making it off.
Doing proactive
Yeah.
patrol.
Yeah, same shit,
as they
dude.
say.
And dude, I remember there was this one kid. He was gonna be a Marine.
Oh no!
He like already decided. He didn't even give college a thought. So you know this type of dude. But he was fucked up, and he was driving, and they were like about to like arrest him. Then he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna be a Marine," and they were like, "All right, you're good," and just fucking let him go.
Hey, we need the numbers, okay?
And then I was in the last car. We get there. Our driver was pretty sober for the most part, but then he had all of us step out, and he was like, "All right, technically you're all like in possession. I could give you MIPs. Like you guys could get really fucked for this."
Yeah.
But
This guy again throwing out words I don't understand. Like that sounds bad. You had to make it an
MIP,
acronym.
dude? You're gonna give me an MIP? I just got a GED. How many more of these do I need, dude? But he was like, or you can go back up to the top. We can clean everything up, dump all the bottles out.
Okay.
And we'll let you go.
That was really cool. Though.
Yeah. So we did that. But the worst part, dude, as a fucking 18-year-old, just alcoholic, was just dumping out the bottled brunettes. And I was just like watching it go. But then there's a picture of me somewhere. I'll try and find it and send it to you.
Okay, dope.
There's a picture of me doing like a jersey swap with a cop.
Oh yeah.
He like gave me his vest, and I had like this watermelon shirt, and I gave it to him.
Oh man, that's great.
Like fucking mutuals. You
Uh-huh.
know, dude?
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna hang this on my wall and tell my
bro.
family about it. Yeah.
But then we didn't get in trouble at all. But then like the whole entire senior class had graduation practice the next morning. We were all hungover as shit, and then we all got like fucking suspension, even though we were out of school still, because we were all like drunk at graduation.
I mean, I like a story where
practice.
everybody got away, though.
Yeah.
You know, grand scheme of things, nobody got
I
busted.
think there was one person who had already graduated. He was like our buddy from a class above that got an MIP.
Oh well, yeah, it's always the
He-
strange
he had to
dude.
eat
Like,
the
hey, it
bullet.
was like if you in college, if you got busted, like if they busted up a house party,
Yeah.
anybody that was over 21 was fucked.
Right.
So, but like everybody
Because
because nobody there could legally buy alcohol.
You're
so they couldn't
providing
pay.
to the minor.
Yeah, so even if you didn't buy it, you were like, they're gonna charge you with it. So we had a routine, like we would take the tags off the kegs and just split. Even if it was at our house,
Yeah.
I would just leave for
Yeah.
2 hours
Yeah,
and go to the bar.
Fucking.
And then come home, the doors kicked in and whatever. But I'm like,
Yeah.
well, nobody got caught.
I have a lot of those stories too of just like running from like the house, like jumping fences and shit. But
I remember one
those
time my
are
friend,
just routine.
my friend fucking Greg, fucking was on the second story, and the cops break in and they come upstairs, and he's like the only one up there. And he runs out to the back porch. We had like a little like back patio area, and there was a roof pretty close to that.
Oh no!
And he was like, the cops
no.
like come out the door, and they're like, wait. And he's like, you're never gonna get me, pigs. And he goes to he goes to jump to the other roof and misses, and just falls like 15 feet to the ground. And then he bolts, and I'm on the street like waiting for him and everybody else, and he starts running. And he was like, everybody run. And then he got hit by a car.
Oh my god, dude! It's like a scene out of Superbad, bro.
He
Like, that's
bounces off the
crazy.
pavement, and then the guy gets out of the car, and he's like, oh my god. And he's just like, fuck you, and runs.
Dude, Did you know in his head he felt so badass?
It was badass, man.
He's like, I'm gonna fucking James Bond this roof right here.
Yeah, and he got away. It couldn't have looked less graceful, but it was so fucking
got
good.
hit by a car.
He'll never catch me, bitch.
That's a stellar line to drop in that situation too. You'll never fucking get me. That's brilliant, dude.
Oh, fuck. So wait. So in the recent DUI situation, like, tell me about like what happened. Like, were you really fucked up? Would you just have some drinks?
So
like what?
Actually, this is like the one time in my life I was doing the Boulder Comedy Show, and then I was driving back. It was like midnight. I had one seltzer. That's all I had, but Brian had like 8. He had like 8. So I was driving his car. I was like, I'll power it out, DD.
Yeah, you're helping the buddy out.
Him and Anthony started smoking in the car, and I hit it like a little bit one time. A little bit.
Sure.
And then we make it all the way back to the Springs. It's like 3 hours later, and I was going 20 over, so I got pulled over, and he was like, "It fucking smells like weed in here."
Mm-hmm.
And I was
doesn't
like,
help.
I was wearing like an XL t-shirt and like a flat bill hat, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm not high, officer. Like, well, you believe that?
No, I'm just undercover right now.
And then of course Brian's like still fucked up and in a do-rag, and he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about, officer?" And I was like, "Oh, we're fucked." And then
I was gonna say now's not the time to give anybody shit.
Yeah. So then he had me step out and do field sobriety and shit, and then I failed that. So then he arrested me.
What one did he have you do?
Dude, he had me do everything.
Really?
He had me do the
alphabet?
line. He didn't make me do the alphabet. He made me I think it was the finger thing, because I kept moving my head. I was like, I'm trying to get out of here, but he kept saying, "Stop moving your head. Stop moving your head." We did that for like 10 minutes, and then he was like, "All right, I think you're high, so we're gonna go get blood work done."
I think you're high.
And then he put me in the fucking back of the car for like an hour. And I was like, I'm super claustrophobic too. So I was like, fucking let me out.
Yeah.
But then he goes to talk to Brian. And I'm like, oh shit, they're going to get Brian too. Mm-hmm. And then fucking, dude.
They had him drive home or what?
Craziest shit I've ever seen. Brian just gets out, walks around to the driver's seat, and just drives away.
With you in the cop car
I was
still?
like, bro, you got the wrong guy for real.
Yeah, right?
You got the wrong guy.
You guys are terrible at your job.
Bro. And then, I went to get blood work. He dropped me off at like 3 a.m. And then I had to go through like the whole court system process, like 6 months.
Really?
And then the blood work finally came back, and the judge was like, "Oh, you were sober."
Yeah.
You're
dude,
fine.
But you just had to go through all that bullshit.
I dropped money on a lawyer.
God damn. Just to like get out of something you weren't really doing
I
wrong
wasn't
in the first
even
place.
high, dude. It was like 0.035 alcohol, 0 nanograms of weed, which I'm kind of shocked about. But
I don't even know nanograms. I'm just like, how do you buy that? Can I buy a nanogram? What is that? A leaf?
A nanogram?
Is that a leaf? Like, I don't even.
Yeah, it's just some shake, dude. But it came back like completely clean.
You were high, but the weed was terrible based on our blood results.
Apparently, dude. But that or I'm not smoking right. I was talking to Cameron about it, and I was like, dude, what if I've just never been high? Because I'm pretty sure I was a little stoned.
What if I've just been dumb this whole time and everybody was just too afraid to tell me?
Yeah, dude. And then fucking even the lawyer that I hired was like, because I told her the whole time, I was like, I was sober. She was like, yeah, okay, everybody says that.
Right.
And then the blood results came back, and she was like, oh, you were sober. Like, she felt bad. She didn't even make me like pay her the rest of the money, but I still had to drop like the retainer, dude. It was fucking a whole thing.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're out of it.
I made it.
Yeah.
I got charged with one, and I beat the fucking case, dog.
Congratulations, baby.
I beat the case, dude.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck the judicial system. I'm
I'll
out.
fucking drink and drive if I want to.
I'll do it today.
Yeah, dude.
Bro.
I am much carefuler now. I'll say I'll have a couple drinks and I'll drive, but I go the speed limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do a story about it in my my act now, where it's like I had a couple teachers in high school that like gave me solid advice that I actually still listen to, and one was my gym teacher, and he sat us all down one day and said, all right, boys, today we're going to play some Frisbee. You know, there's 2 ways to catch a Frisbee. You can either go crab hands or gator hands. No matter what, you'll never drop a Frisbee in your life. And if you had fun, you won, okay? Now, if you are going to drink and drive. Like,
that's the craziest health class I've ever heard.
He was like, always use cruise control and never use your high beams. Now let's get out there and play some Frisbee.
Dude, I want to meet this guy.
Yeah,
man.
that's great advice.
This guy's awesome.
He was the man. He
you
was
know he was fucked up when he told you
great
that.
gym teacher. He was banging our hot orchestra teacher. He had the life.
Yeah, man.
He was doing
That is
awesome.
if I was to be a teacher, I would want to be a fucking cool ass gym teacher like that, dude.
Yeah, this guy was wearing sweatpants to work before it was cool, you know? Before everybody was doing it working from home. He had it figured out.
That's fucking tight, dude. That's tight.
Well, thanks for joining the show. Plug all your stuff. Let people know where they can find you.
Thad_B on Instagram. Follow me. I'm also on Twitter, but you have to find me. And YouTube. Follow Beanie Boys Being Blunt. It's a great podcast. We're gonna have Corey on soon, probably.
Tight. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, stay tuned. I'm doing shows Denver, Springs, Boulder, not outside Colorado yet, but I'm coming.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're hilarious. Like, if you have an opportunity to go see Thad, fucking do it. You're
Please,
fucking
thank you.
super funny.
Thank you for having me. This has been a blast.
No doubt. If you're a first-time listener on the show, like, review, subscribe, do all this stuff. Go to the YouTube channel. It's really been taking off. I drop all the shorts and stuff on there.
And if you're going to drink and drive, cruise control and high
beams,
on,
baby. If you haven't had a chance to check out the live show yet, please do. We just had a really baller one last weekend in Denver. My buddy Mike Glazer was on the show from LA. We had a great time. The next live one we're going to be doing is in Bend, Oregon. That'll be in June.
Yeah.
I don't remember the date right off the top of my head, but just go to my website, CoreyDavid.com. You can check out all my upcoming tour dates and check out when we're going to be doing the live show. Thanks for your support. Later.